Can you believe that the world population has more than doubled in the past 50 years? That's right, from 3.5 billion in 1968 to a staggering 7.8 billion in 2024. It's a growth that's nothing short of remarkable, an increase that has left its mark on every corner of the globe. In the span of just 5 decades, we've seen cities explode in size, new nations rise, and old ones redefine themselves. Our world, once vast and untamed, now feels smaller, more crowded. This surge in population has had profound implications on our global resources. From our forests and oceans to the air we breathe, everything has felt the impact of this population boom. So, we find ourselves in an era where the human footprint is larger and deeper than ever before. But how did we get here, and what does this mean for our future? To understand this massive increase, we need to take a closer look at the mechanics of population growth. Population growth is primarily driven by 3 key factors: birth rate, death rate, and migration. Let's break these down, shall we? Firstly, birth rate. This is simply the number of babies born per 1,000 people in a given year. When birth rates are high, we see an increase in the overall population. For example, in many developing countries, birth rates are significantly higher than in developed nations. This is often due to a combination of cultural norms, lack of access to family planning services, and in some cases, the need for extra hands to support subsistence farming practices. Next, we have the death rate, which is the number of deaths per 1,000 people per year. Advances in healthcare, nutrition and sanitation during the last century have led to a significant decrease in death rates globally, contributing to population growth. The greater the gap between birth rate and death rate, the faster a population grows. Finally, let's talk about migration. This is the movement of people from one geographical area to another. Migration can either increase or decrease a population, depending on whether more people are entering or leaving a region. For instance, areas with robust economies, political stability, and attractive social benefits often draw migrants from regions facing economic hardship, political unrest, or environmental challenges. Now let's imagine these factors working in tandem. High birth rates in a region with falling death rates. Add in a steady stream of immigrants attracted by economic opportunities. The result, a rapidly growing population. But remember, this is not a one-size-fits-all scenario. Each region, each country, has its unique blend of these factors. Some countries might have low birth rates, but high immigration. Others, high birth rates and high immigration. It's a complex, ever-changing dynamic like a global jigsaw puzzle where the pieces are constantly moving. So with these factors at play, the numbers start to add up. It's not just the growth, but the speed of this growth that's truly astounding. Our planet's population is not merely increasing, it's accelerating at an unprecedented rate. Imagine this, it took all of human history until the early 19th century for the world population to reach 1 billion. But the 2nd billion, that milestone was achieved in just over 100 years. This is the phenomenon of exponential growth. Unlike linear growth, which adds a fixed amount each year, exponential growth is like a snowball rolling downhill, gaining more and more momentum, becoming larger and faster with each passing moment. In the 20th century, we witnessed this exponential growth in full swing. The world population doubled, then tripled, reaching 3 billion by 1960. By the turn of the 21st century, we had surpassed 6 billion. Today, in 2024, we're on the brink of reaching 8 billion. What's driving this acceleration? Several factors are at play. Medical advancements have drastically reduced infant mortality rates and prolonged life expectancy. Agriculture has become more efficient, capable of feeding more people. And as societies modernize, urbanization increases, leading to higher concentrations of people in cities. But let's put these numbers into perspective. If the 20th century was a 100-meter sprint, then the world population would have started at a leisurely jog, sped up to a run halfway through, and finished in a full-on sprint. That's the pace of our population growth, a testament to our species' adaptability and survival instincts. But it also prompts a critical question. Can we sustain this speed? Is the finish line a sustainable future, or a world strained by overpopulation? Population growth is like a speeding train, and we're all on board. The scenery is passing by faster and faster, and there's no sign of slowing down. But as we marvel at the speed of our journey, we must also ask ourselves, what's the destination? What kind of world are we creating for future generations? At this speed, where are we headed? It's a question we all need to contemplate as we hurtle forward into the unknown. The future of our world population is a topic of intense debate among experts. As we look to the horizon, a myriad of projections and scenarios emerge, each painting a different picture of what our world might look like in the coming decades. Some of these scenarios are optimistic, others not so much. Let's delve into some of these possibilities. On one hand, we have the optimistic view. Some experts believe that advancements in technology, healthcare and education will lead to a slowing down of the population growth rate. They foresee a world where our population plateaus at around 9 to 10 billion by the end of the 21st century. The United Nations, for instance, predicts that our global population will reach 9.7 billion by 2050 and could peak at nearly 11 billion by 2100. This optimistic scenario hinges on the idea that as more countries develop, birth rates will continue to fall. It's a pattern we've seen in many parts of the world, where prosperity and education lead to smaller families. On the other side of the coin, we have the more pessimistic view. These experts warn that population growth could continue unabated, leading to a world population of over 12 billion by the end of the century. They point to persistent high birth rates in some regions, coupled with increasing life expectancy worldwide, as the driving factors. In this scenario, the strain on our planet's resources would be immense. The challenges of providing food, water and energy for such a massive population could potentially lead to significant social and environmental upheavals. Yet, these are just projections. They are based on current trends and assumptions, and the future, as we all know, is notoriously difficult to predict. New technologies, unforeseen events, and changing societal attitudes could all play a role in shaping our world's demographic future. But no matter the projection, one thing is clear: our world is changing rapidly. And as we move forward, it's crucial that we continue to monitor and understand these changes, for they will undoubtedly shape the world our children and grandchildren inherit. This rapid population growth has far-reaching implications. The burgeoning populace presses heavily on Earth's resources. The planet, our home, is finite. It has a fixed size and a limited amount of resources. As the population swells, the pressure on these resources intensifies. Food, fresh water, energy and land all become scarcer, leading to potential crises. Think of it as a pie. Initially, when there were fewer people, everyone got a decent slice. But as more and more people join the table, the slices get smaller and smaller. The environment too feels the strain. With the need for more housing, more infrastructure and more agriculture, natural habitats are destroyed, leading to a loss of biodiversity. More people also means more waste, more pollution and greater carbon emissions, accelerating climate change. Picture a field turned into a city, clean air clouded with smog, and serene seas replaced by plastic islands. At the same time, the social fabric is stretched thin. Rapid population growth can lead to overcrowded cities, strained public services, and increased competition for jobs. Inequality may widen, and social tensions could rise. Imagine a city where every street is a traffic jam, where schools are bursting at the seams, and where people are jostling for every job. To bring these points home, consider that in just the past 50 years, the world population has more than doubled. We've gone from 3 billion in the 1970s to nearly 8 billion today. That's 5 billion more people sharing the same resources, living in the same environment and shaping the same societies. The implications are clear, the consequences are looming. We are living in an era of unprecedented population growth. But it's not all doom and gloom. The human race has shown remarkable resilience and innovation in the face of challenges. We've found ways to grow more food on less land, to generate energy from renewable sources, and to build cities that are more sustainable and inclusive. The challenge then is how we adapt to these changes. The numbers don't lie. Our world is growing, and it's growing fast. We've journeyed through the astonishing facts of our planet's population, the mechanics of its growth, the dizzying speed at which it expands, the projections for our future, and the implications and consequences of such growth. The understanding of population dynamics is not just about numbers, it's about the complex interplay of birth, death, migration, and the myriad of factors influencing these elements. It's about the strain on resources and the environment, the challenges in providing education, healthcare, and basic amenities to all. It's about the socio-economic and political impacts that could reshape our world. As we've seen, the future holds both challenges and opportunities. Our capacity to adapt, innovate, and find solutions will determine the path we take. As we look to the future, understanding our past and present is key to navigating the challenges and opportunities ahead.